Well, hello there. What is going on, my friends? It has been a little while, and we are back with a live stream, a rare kind of earlier evening live stream, especially on, a Wednesday? I don't do many Wednesday streams, but it was a special day. And we have a big rules reference, a points update, Errata update. We're going to talk about all of these. AMG published these today, and there's so much here to go through. And I know that some of these specifics will be talked about in detail over the next several months. I'm sure, probably in various videos over the next couple of years, even. Or at least over the next year, there'll probably be. I imagine there's a pretty good chance there'll be another one next year. But yeah, we have so much to cover, and so much to talk about. So I just figured let's do it in a live stream. Let's also talk about some other things too, because I know this is live, and some of you may be watching on demand. And so while we kind of get viewers and people kind of joining. We are going to. I also want to remind everybody some of the other things that are going on right now. So if you haven't been here in a while, there is a big new 50,000 subscriber giveaway. By the way, thank you to all of you guys. We did cross over 50,000 subscribers over the weekend. So big thank you for that. Big milestone. And the reward is we are doing, instead of just an Amazon gift card giveaway for $25, we're doing a lightsaber giveaway. It's a big one. It's a $250 value via an Amazon gift card this way, so you can get any lightsaber you want. And I do a lot of lightsaber reviews, and I talk a little bit about Star Wars here on the channel, if you guys are familiar. So I thought we would do like a really big giveaway to kind of have that going on. So I thought that would be fun. But yeah, and all you have to do is be a subscriber and leave a comment. It's the same stuff as normal. Really, the big distinction I want to make is you've got to be a public subscriber. There's a way that if sometimes you're subscribed in YouTube, and then through your preferences, you can hide your subscriptions. A lot of people have this enabled, and maybe they don't know it. I'm not sure. But if you have your subscriptions hidden, that also hides it from me. So I won't know if you're subscribed. So go into your settings, make sure your subscriptions are public, because when I go to select the winner, it'll only pull from the pool of people who are publicly subscribed. And there's filters. So I basically filter by comments and subscribers. And if you're a hidden subscriber, you won't get included in that filter. So I thought that that's important to share with you guys. But yeah, that's all you have to do to enter to win, and that's going to run all the way up until the week of Christmas. We're going to be, I did a whole video kind of talking about it, and there's a write-up of it on Crabbok.com. So that's going on. I'm just sharing this on social media because I want to reach a lot of people. I want to hang out with you guys, want to talk with you guys. So if you don't mind, if you're watching, go ahead and share the video with your groups and your friends, and we'll get this discussion going, because I know some people probably are just now getting off of work. Maybe you haven't had a chance to see the news yet, and or maybe you're watching this tomorrow morning on your way into work. So we'll be talking about, instead of just reading stuff, we'll be talking about some of the changes, because there are. There's a couple of interesting things going on here. There's some big changes. There's some small changes. In some things were bigger than I thought they were going to be, and some things were smaller than I thought they were going to be. Like, I thought we were going to get more on Han Solo than just steady. I thought, like, when they said Han Solo's getting steady, that was like, oh well, what else is he getting? Is that enough to save Han Solo, right? So that's like a lot of the things, and I think that's probably something we could go into in future videos and future content and talking about that. We got a lot of people with us tonight. What's going on? Harrison, Arc Trooper, Andrew, Tyler, Craig, Robert, Jason, Nevin, and Eli. What's going on, everybody? Thanks for joining us. We have so much to get into. I also want to remind you guys about something really cool that's going on right now with the channel's sponsor, Luxury Playstyle. So this is, look, Luxury Playstyle, you've heard me talk about them. You've seen me use their tokens in my battle reports. They have amazing tokens. They have a whole X-Wing line. I also use a lot of these tokens for Legion. The Shield tokens are all double-sided. They're amazing. Orders of $35 or more get a free Crabbok Lightsaber Nunchuck token. This is a double-sided C on one side and 5 on the other, so you can use it to count damage in higher intervals, especially since vehicles now are way more going to be, I think, taken a lot more. Dude, I've got one right here. These tokens are awesome, right? You got the lightsaber nunchucks on there. There's sparkly little effects in there. They're gorgeous. And all of their tokens are fantastic. I use their Keyforge damage tokens for damage. We have Legion tokens coming out, guys. Legion tokens. So get yourself a couple of these and see what you think. You're going to love them, I promise you that. But stay tuned for next month. We should be announcing some Legion tokens. What is that? Oh, is that a spoiler? You'll have to wait and see. But we have Legion command tokens that are going to be coming out first, and they're going to be amazing. So use code Crabbok VIP over at luxuryplaystyle.com and save yourself 15%. Also, I want to point out one more thing. Even if, because these are high-end tokens, they're not cheap. They're not cheap, so they're certainly not for everybody. But if you want to really elevate your game, they're absolutely worth it. They're wonderful. But here's the thing I want to throw out about this too. If you have a local store that's like, hey, we're not getting organized play kits from FFG anymore because it's AMG and they don't do tournament support in the way that FFG used to. These make great tournament support giveaways, like a set of damage tokens, a set of shield tokens, high-end tokens. Throw in a Crabbok, a door prize or something like that. If they use the code, they're going to save too. Tell your local stores to order. Tell them about the code. They can save 15%. They can get amazing swag for the store, amazing prize support. This is the way to go, and you're going to love some of the Legion stuff that we have coming out too. All right, so that's enough about that for right now. We have a lot of folks here. We're going to be talking about all of these rules. So interesting thing. So I've got this browser open behind me. And what is going on, everybody? Thank you for hanging out with us today. It's nice to see that AMG is actually, hosting some information like on their website. Kind of, I say. Because if you click on these, they actually they direct you to fantasyflight.com. This is to images-cdn.fantasyflightgames.com. This one is to images-cdn.fantasyflightgames. They're all still on fantasyflightgames.com. As a matter of fact, if you go to fantasyflightgames.com and you go to the Legion section, you go down to rules, you're going to find all the 3 of these documents there. So we have 3 new documents. We've got a rules reference, we have a Legion points update, and an errata reference. So I want to start with the errata reference to talk about, because we're going to run through this. The big takeaway, and I haven't looked at everything, so I'm not even 100%. So we'll go through some of these stuff. Some of this stuff will be like live reactions too, because I kind of browsed it. I've been working today. I've had a lot of stuff going on, and I'll probably talk about the personal stuff that I've had going on in maybe in another video, because I want to keep this one a little bit more on Legion focus, but I've had a lot of personal stuff going on. So I've been pretty busy, but I did try to get a good kind of, look at a lot of this. So one thing that's the big takeaways is a lot of people said clones got hit really, really hard. The big takeaway from a lot of folks is they're saying the Galactic or the Grand Army of the Republic is dead now, and I think that might be an overreaction, but maybe not by too much, because it definitely got hurt. But I don't know if it's dead now. I think it means that you'll have to change tactics even more so, and not only change tactics but change list norms. So but I have a big, a criticism to this whole layout of the way that they've done everything. It's kind of cool that there's a couple of different documents that give you some different stuff, but what's annoying to me is that they didn't give us cards. There's no new card images and let me know if you guys agree that like why in the world didn't they? I know that the community will come up with some cards and stuff, but this is a really piss poor way to forgive my language. But that's really what it is. It's a really lousy way to put out corrections to a game that regularly holds tournaments and competitive events and stuff, as to just right now, oh well, this also has all this other stuff, and this also has all this other stuff. Give us the card that we can print out. FFG always used to do that. Do you not have people that can make cards? Like, I don't, and maybe they don't, but like, that's a big criticism. You really should have given us the cards. That's a shame. That's a real shame that you didn't. You should have all of those files, right? Like, you should have all of those files and should be able to just, like, edit in another line for, like, cards that have new abilities. Or some things lost abilities. Like, a lot of, like, Wookiee stuff, like, lost their Indomitable stuff and replaced it with Scale. And and some of those are old changes. But FFG used to, also say, like, here's the image. Made it really easy for all the folks that ran the websites, like the points updaters and stuff like that, to just be able to, like, copy this image and upload it. But now we got to rely on somebody to make their own. And then the first one won't be that good. And then, like, somebody will come up with, like, a nicer one. But then they're like, all right, then people are going to be printing out and using that at tournaments. But now it's a player-made card. And so you're like, it's really just this really awkward position that they put us in. And to me, having this many changes on a game and not even having an official new version of the card makes the whole game kind of feel more like homebrew. I feel like it makes the game feel cheaper to me. Like, I like having my cards, right? And I know that FFG has made errata. It hasn't been that much, and this is a good amount of errata. But I always reference the cards because I play all 4 armies and I play other games, and I can't remember every single syntax of every single card in the back of my head. And it's so frustrating in the middle of a game. It's like, all right, so how does that card work? What does that card say again? Does that happen? Does it say while attacking, or before you attack, or at the start of activation? Or is it like during the defense step? Like, when does this action trigger? Hold on, I don't know if I have the most updated version of the card. Let's go check all the rules errata and the RRG and all this other stuff, and hope, that is an aspect of the game that gets frustrating and takes the fun factor out of the game. And they could have eliminated a lot of that by having up-to-date cards, images on here. The bottom page of the errata reference, by the way, is a blank page. There's a lot of room for cards, guys. A lot of room for cards. FFG used to put the other cards in there. By the way, what happened to the old FFG cards? It's like they took away the existing cards that had already been errated. Like, I'm just that's my biggest criticism. And my second biggest criticism is there's no color coding in these guides, and that's also a big problem because the errata reference is not just the new errata; it's all errata throughout time and space. Or I mean, it's all of the errata for Legion's history, and so. You're like, wait a second, did key positions get changed? Oh, wait, is this key positions got changed like a few months after the game came out? Okay, limited visibility also was changed not long after it first came out. Every card that referenced commanders, but that was done before operatives came out, had to kind of be errata to also include operatives in command, or a lot of those. Like Force Choke, for example, is like in here because you couldn't. Force Choke said like do the damage, but you can't target a commander. Well, when operatives came out, they're like, oh well, Force Choke's like operatives too. You can't target operatives also. So like that's in here. And that's an old errata, but it's going to make some people who are reading this think that it's new. So you have to have like to run through this document and just know what's the new changes and what's the old changes. It requires you to already have a very in-depth knowledge of the game in detail. And I think I'd probably get most of this. I play Legion a lot, but boy, it's like... And then the really confusing part is cards that have already been changed, but that are now being changed again. And there are a lot of errors in these documents that are still need to be fixed because a lot of people are thinking, wait, so are we only going with the new changes? What about the old changes? What about the original? Like Wedge Antilles is on here. Wedge has been changed multiple times. And a lot of people are thinking, is this new... I'll scroll down and we'll talk about this first because I'm giving you my gripes right away and then we're going to get into the juicy stuff. Wedge Antilles. Add the field commander keyword. Well, what about Wedge's previous update that instead of a free action, it just lets him pivot, like the way they changed the way his pivot works, and that was the last one. Also, he had his points adjusted too, but this isn't specific. This isn't a points document, right? And basically, they've put out LJ has said this, and a lot of folks have basically clarified that things like this, anything that's in here, is an addition to any previous errata, not a replacement, unless it explicitly states that. So Wedge is just additionally getting the field commander in addition to the way his most recent errata works. So now that there's like 3 different versions of Wedge. There's the original printed Wedge, the original errated Wedge, and now original Wedge. It's not original, it's Wedge 3.0. So this is Wedge 3. It's just, so it is a little confusing, right? And this is why we need physical cards. When there's hard errata like this, we need physical cards, or at least a version of them here that we can print out ourselves. So, all right. So, I have been neglecting you guys in chat. I apologize. So I had a lot of stuff. We're going to run through a lot of this. We'll touch on the highlights. I might not go into detail on every single thing because otherwise we'd be here until midnight. Let's see here. What's the I'm just mad that Machine Gun Devil Dog says, I'm just mad that I spent a ton of money on a game only for them to change things, so I'm supposed to buy it again. If you can send in your old card, they should send you a new version. Well, that is the way a lot of old things used to work. You could send something in and have it replaced. The problem is they don't have the manpower to kind of handle like individual card returns one at a time and swaps and stuff like that. It would actually be cheaper for them to just say anybody who wants the new card, they'll just send them to you for free. What's more likely to happen in this case, if they were to, like what I would do, that would probably be most cost effective and please the widest amount of people for the cheapest amount of cost, is to just include all errated cards in the next card upgrade pack. So you come out with a new card upgrade pack that has like some new upgrades, has like all the versions of cards that were only in like 1 or 2 expansions, so everybody gets those. Things like that. Things like Burst of Speed. That like, oh, only the Republic seems to get that. Well, now it's available for everybody. Things like that. I'd put cards like that in the upgrade card pack, and maybe even some all new upgrade cards in the upgrade card pack. We'd have a really cool content box called Upgrade Card Pack 2.0. In addition, as a bonus, at no extra charge, although people would say it was charged, we would put a new copy of every single card that had been errated, so you'd all have a hard copy in there. An old game I used to play called Doomtown used to do that. It was a card game, an LCG, but every new expansion they would also include all the errata to previous cards, and that was a cool way to do it. And I think that's the best way to make those type of cards widely available. Another way is you can also, and they've done this a little bit when they were still at FFG, is that they would when a certain card that had been errated was up for being made into an alternate art promo, then that would be eligible. You'd basically, if you got the promo, if you went to the tournament, you get like the new version and it would have the correct writing on there. While that was cool, that was only good for like 1% of the people who play the game, because most people who play the game don't go to like, Gen Con tournaments and things like that. That's why, but yeah, Doomtown was a fun game. All right. Crabbok for CEO. Yeah, right. I don't need that headache right now. Although I'd take the paycheck. All right, so let's see. All right, let's keep going. We'll keep going. Thank you guys for. There's a lot of you in chat. We got almost 100 viewers. That's pretty cool. That is really cool. I love it. So thank you guys for those of you who have been sharing this out. I know this wasn't a scheduled live stream. I didn't know when this points thing was going to drop. So thanks for hanging out. All right, so let's get into the details. Let's see. So we started out. Also, if you guys are joining us late, don't forget we are doing a lightsaber giveaway, and it's running until the week of Christmas. You just have to be a subscriber and leave a comment on this or one of my videos to enter to win. There's more details for that on Crabbok.com. All right, so let's talk about some of the things we already knew about. Like again, the first couple are all things we knew about already. Coordinated fire, that was old one. Darkness Descends, they've talked about that one already. I think there was some confusion with Darkness Descends. I thought it was you always got Reliable 2 on Vader. You only get Reliable 2 if the card was not divulged. I might be slightly mistaken about that. I could, there's so much to process right now. I might just be getting that one screwed up. But this is the permanent, this is the nuts and the bolts of it. If it was not divulged, he's going to gain Reliable 2. If it was divulged, you do it as normal. And Reliable 2 seemed okay, but I think when they were talking about Implacable, the other one, his 1-pip, I thought they said he would gain a dodge token every time he was issued an order. I thought they said that was permanent also in their initial live stream, but Implacable, it is not permanent. It says when Darth Vader activates, he gains a dodge token. At the end of his first activation, he can suffer the wound, blah, blah. Basically, so he's going to gain a dodge token when he activates, so up to twice in that turn when you play Implacable. But since it's not a permanent card, it doesn't do anything for you the next turn. And I thought that they had implied that Implacable was also now permanent, that the dodge token effect was permanent. So that makes Darkness Descends better because you're only going to get those free dodges the one turn, and you're going to still need, Surge is going to have a more value for you on the other turns. So Darkness Descends makes for a pretty good turn 1 card, even if you don't divulge it. And so I think that's pretty, or maybe a turn 2 card. So that is pretty interesting. All right, that looks good. I'm just checking in with chat. Let's see. I'm thinking about starting, Garrison says, I'm thinking about starting a Legion army. I hear you like Phase 1 clone troopers. What faction made out best in the Errata? The Rebels, dude. The Rebels. We'll get there. I cannot believe Jin and Pathfinders got boosted again. It's like the 4th boost. I mean, they were already great as printed. Like, they were just kicking my butt. Like, my buddy Sean likes to run Jin and Pathfinders, like almost exclusively, and they are hard to kill when you because he always takes them with duck and cover. And honestly, I think a lot of people just haven't realized, and that's the problem. I think the meta has said that Jin and Pathfinders are bad. People like so some dude wins a tournament using something else, or somebody influential tried Jin Pathfinders at one point, didn't like them on their first game, said, you know what, they're bad. Everybody listened to them. Everybody now agrees Jin Pathfinders are bad, and nobody really tries them. However, you go up against somebody who's good with Jin Pathfinders, and you're going to have a bad day. So, that's the problem with metas. You kind of get into this circular logic. It's bad because we say it's bad. Why is it? Well, nobody uses it. Well, so it needs to get a points increase. Well, nobody uses it, so it's bad. And we all say it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. It's this interesting thing about meta. I say run whatever you would like. I think you should run whatever makes you happy. All right. Let's go. So Son of Skywalker, that's an old change. An attack action, I believe that's an old change. So just to allow him to do it as an attack action. Let's see. Take That Clankers. This one's a big one. So let's talk about Take That Clankers. This one hurts because one of the coolest things to do with clones is have fancy ways to get extra aim tokens on units and extra face-up orders. So like the phase 1, this was one of the reasons that I loved the phase 1 clone trooper, because they have that phase 1 clone trooper specialist that gives you a free aim token, and if you do that on the turn that you run Take That Clankers, you get basically a range 5 Z6 shot, because you get to move. You can take a free aim token, and then you get range 4 Z6 shot. And moving and the range 4 effectively gives you range 5 from starting. It allowed for immensely awesome alpha strikes, and now they have changed Take That Clankers tremendously. What's going on, Garrison? We've got a super chat from Garrison. Thank you for the super chat, buddy. He says Pathfinders, good info, thanks. Yeah, they're not bad, but I mean duck and cover is important, and the thing is Pathfinders, they can die. Anybody with Danger Sense. Danger Sense is an incredibly good keyword. An incredibly good keyword. It is so good because small dice pools just can't penetrate it. In fact, they make it stronger, right? I'm gonna hit you. I'm gonna shoot you for 2 damage to a sniper, and I got Pierce 1. Oh, okay, no problem. I've already got 2 suppression, so I'll roll 2 extra dice. Oh, I don't care if you got rolled suppression, or if you got Pierce 1. Because I got 3 blocks, on that. Oh, and now I have another suppression, or I'll duck and cover, get another suppression first, and I'll have to roll 3 extra dice, and they have search for defense. They're just good. They're good. Now a really big dice pool, the 3 extra dice or whatever won't matter, right? But like small to moderate dice pools, just don't do it. Just don't do it. All right, so take that clankers. This is rough for so many reasons because they have to do an aim action. The interesting thing about clones is clones almost never do an aim action because they have so many tricks to get free aims. And this is compounded by the fact that they can't spend aims off of their buddies anymore. So it's like almost dumb because you don't want to take an aim action because somebody else can't use it, right? So, or they can use it, but they can only use one. So like taking an aim action is already like less good than it was before. Because let's say you roll your dice and they're all hits, and you don't need to spend the aim. Well, that aim might not even get spent, by one of your buddies. So, just it all depends on how things go because some of the clones have, get a free aim when they move, or clones have a lot of, the specialist gives you a free aim during your turn if you want, and or Padme has aims and you can spend hers. There's so many other ways to get aims and to get rerolls that taking an aim action is one of the most inefficient ways for clones to get aims. So you have to take an aim action, which means your other action has to be to shoot if you're going to take advantage of take that clankers. So unless a clone is planning on getting steady at some point, if they're going to come out with a clone that has steady, then that will work great with take that clankers. And as a matter of fact, maybe who's Rex's buddy? Cody. Maybe Cody should have steady, right? Or maybe Cody should give people steady or something like that. Like that would make some sense. But because now you have to aim and shoot. So when somebody plays take the clankers, that means these guys have to aim and shoot. And here's why that's stupid. Because you could just move and shoot and have the same net result. You'd still have the same range increase. Like aim and shoot is so colossally bad with take that clankers. I hate it. I hate it. I think the only real cool thing that you get to do with it now is potentially throw grenades at an airspeeder that's immune to range 1 weapons because it creates the range boost. So now that grenade is technically a range 2 weapon. But yeah, that's a bummer. It's a bummer. You already had to have an aim token on you, so you already couldn't just borrow one from a friend. But I just don't like that. Like I guess it's good if you're dug into like the perfect position and you don't want to move. I guess that's the other use for it, right? Like sometimes it's real easy to overreact and say there's something that's a change to the way I do things. It's automatically bad, but this one is pretty bad. It's not completely useless, but it's no longer an auto include because all those units could move and shoot normally, And sometimes moving and shooting is better because you get to like now I can move into heavy cover and do all of that. Yeah, I don't like the way take that clankers works. Oh, and then there's a lot of talk about Wookiees. Yeah, Derek saying I don't want Wookiees. I want to play the Grand Army of the Republic, not Kashyyyk. Well, I mean, you still can, right? Like honestly, I don't think the new Wookiees are that much better than the old Wookiees for the Rebels, and I've always enjoyed those. It was one of those things that a lot of people said, that's not meta, you can't play Wookiees, Wookiees are terrible. I've always loved Wookiees. I have never played a game with Wookiees and had a bad game. It was always at least fun, and sometimes it was surprisingly successful. I think, as a matter of fact, out of all the new Wookiee options, I think the exact same Wookiee setup is still the best setup with the bowcaster. It's still the Wookiee of choice for me. But yeah, they did hit you in 10 places. Yeah, clone players got a lot, and so Take That Clankers is just the first. Here's a good one for Republic. Anakin. Anakin gets a buff here with You Underestimate My Power command card. He gains one extra permanent thing on here, and it's Defend 1. And Defend 1 is, I believe it's in the rules reference, but I believe that's when you get issued an order, you get a free dodge. So that's actually really cool. So, and it's a keyword that's not used largely. It's not used in a lot of different ways. So Anakin's, I like this because out of all of them, this was one that I don't know. It's cool. Surge the Crit is good. but like there's other things that are giving out like surge tokens, and and if you take him with Master of the Force 1 is only good if you take him with Force upgrades that require like Force push and things like that. But if I sometimes like to run him with Obi, it wasn't a required one, and I think this was maybe a slightly weaker card, and it's one that's sometimes a little bit harder to do the bad part. Like you have to perform an attack, so you can't do it too early, right? But I like that. I like that it's a good change for him. Getting a free dodge is good. I think Anakin is has largely been like an underpowered guy, and I think this is good. But yeah, let's see. So he gains Surge to Crit, Master of the Force 1. He also gains Defend 1. And at the end of his activation, if he didn't, I think that's about it. All right, we're going to go to the second page. Now, another thing that annoys me about this is more of a minor gripe. Again, I wish they had color-coded all the things that were new. Because if they did another change to limited visibility and it was somewhere obscure in there, I wouldn't even know. Who would know? Well, playtesters and people who knew about it in advance would know, and they would be like, hey, guys, I noticed this. But yeah, so... let's see. So some of the stuff is, but it's not alphabetized, right? The first page we've got K, L, R, C. Like it's kind of alphabetized, like it's alphabetized on the column, like coordinated fire C, D, I, S, S, T, T. But then it goes to B, right? So it's only alphabetized per page, or per column per page, which makes no sense to me. Like, why would you do it that way? Like, right? Like, who organized this thing? Is it going to be like, I'm really, really trying to think about what was the mindset of, why is that there? It makes no sense to me. It's not like broken. Is it broken down by faction? Is this? No, because this is an Imperial card. I mean, maybe it's Darth Vader adjacent cards on the first page. I don't know what they're thinking. Oh, okay. All right, so Chewbacca got some changes. So Chewbacca gets changes, and some of these are, like, I think this is mostly a good. He gets a little something. So he gains scale. He loses expert climber and unhindered, but he gains scale, and scale is just better. Scale is awesome. So that's good, and that's in keeping with what we've seen for Wookiees already. And then I don't know why they're changing the name of his overpower keyword to overwhelm. I don't understand what went into that. I almost suspect that's a Lucasfilm licensor kind of, well, we really think Chewie wants to overwhelm his opponents. He doesn't want to overpower them, right? Like overpower is probably a keyword they wanted to have for more like electronic power, like a overpowered generator. And I think that's why they did that. That's my guess, but that's neither here nor there. He gains the lethal 1 keyword. So if he has an aim, he has something else he gets to do with it. And that's actually pretty cool because he has teamwork with Chewbacca, so he can get free aims. I mean, he has teamwork with Chewbacca. He is Chewbacca. He has teamwork with Han Solo, so he can get free aims for that. We already know about Darth Vader, Dark Lord of the Sith. He gains command slot and compel core. Now, Vader Operative here has a second training slot, increases his wound threshold to 7, and it increases his speed to 2, removing the spur keyword. So his spur gets just upgraded to be a speed 2. Now, this is a really good change for OP Vader. And I'll tell you why. First off, more wounds is already good. Increasing speed is awesome. That's very, very good. I still won't ever use him. I'll throw him in the trash. He's still garbage, but some people like him, and this is a good way to use him. Good. So good on you if you want to do that. I'm still only ever use Commander Vader. I'm gonna get Commander Vader tattooed on my arm or something like that. I might do that. But he gets another training slot, and the reason why is like a lot of people like to run the tenacity on him because like. But so to kind of make up for the fact that he loses a red die on melee, and I'm like, oh well, now he can get that red die back because Darth Vader has 6 red die, OP Vader has only 5, so tenacity gives him another one back if he's attacking somebody who's if he's got wounded already. Like, hey, that's cool, but okay, the whole point of this guy was that he got a training slot, but you're gonna use that training slot to make him almost like the other version that didn't even need to do it. So now he has a second training slot, so you can specialize him a little bit more. I think this is probably cool. Like, there's probably some cool list building, ways that you can, like, all right, how am I going to run him this way? And that's fine. One of the real reasons to take Vader also is his command cards, but for me, the biggest reason to take Vader is the fearless ability, and also how awesome he is, especially with his new command cards now. I really don't think I'll take the OP Vader very much, because you still have to have a leader, a commander, and I'm like, I'd rather, if I'm going to pay the big price for Darth Vader, I want to have him also be my commander. Han Solo got steady. We already knew about that. I don't know if that's enough to save Han, but okay. Okay, some of these are old changes. Scouts! Scout troopers are actually good scouts now. I think this is funny, and it's good. It's good for the scout trooper saboteurs, so they can get in a position a little bit more. I haven't used them in forever. Maybe I should now. So scouts now are getting Scout 3. Scout troopers. I think it's good. Good for them. Good for them. It was funny that the Rebels had better scout than the Imperial scout troopers. The scouts were one of the worst scouts in the game, right? So yeah, tenacity plus into the fray. Night Goblin says use tenacity and into the fray on Operative Vader. I'm assuming. Yeah, that's not a bad option. That's a new training. I think as new training upgrades come out too, that's going to further separate OP Vader from Commander Vader. I think that's an important thing. Yeah, very cool stuff. All right, so yeah, Wookiee Warriors, old stuff. Aggressive Tactics, that's old. Going back up, Battle Meditation, CMO 93. A lot of these are old. Let's see. All right, so ARC Troopers. This upset a lot of folks. The ARC Troopers, and again, it's another change to clones. I didn't even think that these guys were as used quite as much. But ARC Troopers, for their DC-15X, this is the generic heavy, I believe, lost critical 1. And for a unit that, again, doesn't have any surge keywords, critical 1 in their dice pool was a pretty big deal. And that kind of hurts. That kind of hurts, and if it was just that, it wouldn't be. But look for lots and lots of changes, lots and lots of nerfs to clones, and ARC Troopers get quite a bit of it. The Dh447 Sniper, these are old. Yeah, all the snipers got upgraded from range 1 to 5. Again, this is why I wish they would have color coded this. This was one of the first, not first changes. This was a change from maybe a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, when Cassian and Inferno Squad came out. I like this for Death Troopers, DTF-16. I love DTF-16 because DTF-16 has Compel, right? If that's the right one I'm thinking of, I'm pretty sure it is. Wound threshold up to 2. A Death Trooper with a wound threshold up to 2 is a very good thing. It makes me very, very happy. So I'm pleased. I'm pleased to see that. General Weiss, I believe it's pronounced Weiss. General Weiss. Actually, I'm thinking about using General Weiss now. I actually really want to. I want to run double ATST, and I want General Weiss to be my field commander. I love this. So he finally got field commander, and they removed the exhaust icon from him, which is... Look, so a lot of people said, well, the ATST still doesn't have surge to hit, because a lot of people like the hammers, the Imperial hammers, and of course, they're amazing. But I think it's viable now. I think it's worth trying. I think it's worth bringing General Weiss back to the table now, because having Arsenal 4 is super groovy. So, I mean, you're probably only going to attack maybe with 3 weapons at a time. You might not always have the 4. And I think that makes up for not having the... and especially if you run a General Weiss and you have some aim mechanics going on in the build. Now, you won't run... I won't run, I don't think I'll run... oh gosh, the commander that's giving you Veers. I don't think I'll run Veers in that build, but maybe somebody else. Like that's a cool thing. I'm super stoked now to get General Weiss on the table and see if he can finally be the guy in the ATST that he was always supposed to be. It'll be an expensive list, but if he's finally got field commander now, I'm happy. Smoke grenades. Look, finally, smoke grenades. This had to have been a Luke Eddy change. They're expendable now, and it's a free action. you know what? Since it's a free action, I'm okay with it. It's worth taking now. I think it got a points reduction also. It's worth looking at least considering now, because smoke grenades have their use, and especially if you do it after you've already attacked. Beautiful. There's also some clever ways where you can do it and do all kinds of, make it stack with other things. I love that. I love that smoke grenades is now a free action. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Because I always enjoyed using it. The only time I would ever use smoke grenades was with the R2-D2. He has the smoke cover command card, and it's a free action for him when he does that. And I was like, oh, this is actually not too bad. Actually kind of works well with the Wookiees that really have kind of no defense. And you're like, all right, now they get some cover as they're kind of moving to get into melee, because they don't care about the smoke once they get into melee with you. So I like that. I like that they made an effort to make smoke grenades worth looking at, but not necessarily an auto include. Did the points go up on them? It might have. It's still worth looking at. Unorthodox Tactician. I don't know if this is an old or a new upgrade, because I know a lot of people were talking about it. So when you activate, roll 3 red dice. For each ink result, choose a different friendly unit that you are transporting or at range 1 to 3. Each unit gains an aim token. Isn't that exactly how it worked already? Or was it that you could just distribute that many tokens and they could go on the same unit? The key change might be that it's a different unit. I'm not sure if that's a new change or an old change or what. And then, of course, Wedge adds the field commander keyword. But yeah. All right, so let's see. Points went up from 1 to 3. I think the token sharing thing was ridiculous, but I'm more than okay with the change. Okay, it was at the beginning of the round, says Andrew Lynch. Thank you. Oh, unorthodox technician. So now it's when you activate. Oh, I see. So that is a slight nerf then, potentially, because now you're more incentivized to go with your AA5 first. That seems like a reasonable change to me. It seems to go into the spirit of the card, and yeah, all right. I like that. That seems reasonable. It's still a good card. It's still a very good card. All right, so that's it for the Errata reference. Again, somebody's going to have to take all these little bits and merge them into the old cards, and, freaking ridiculous. We got a points adjustment. This, at least, is sorted a little better. And here I'll give AMG some praise. Hey, these are sorted by faction. Well, that is brilliant. Republic, right? Or I'm sorry, Empire on this page. Rebel Alliance here. Republic and Separatists down here. And then Neutral at the bottom. Thank you, guys. Thank you all so much. However, while you did one good thing, you also really screwed up. Have you ever seen how X-Wing does their points adjustments? When something has gone up in points, it's now color-coded in red. And when it's gone down in points, it's now color-coded in blue. And if something's brand new, like it has never existed before, then I think it's in green or something like that. Like, well, now I see some of you, I see Derek, and I see some of you guys saying not having the old points cost is a huge miss in this PDF. I've got good news for you guys. Stay tuned, because we have a fantastic contribution from somebody in our Discord that has posted a really, really cool Excel spreadsheet that has all the old and the new side by side. I will look more at points after this, because there's a lot to talk about with points. I want to go over the rules reference first, and then we'll get to points, and that's kind of where we'll go from here. So the new things in here is setup, clone trooper, and low profile. And the cool thing here, I want to zoom in a little bit. They give you page numbers, which is pretty cool. Like you used to have to kind of search for it, So page 6 is the setup, and I think this is. I haven't looked at these too decently. There's, or at least, oh, look at this. They managed to put new stuff in blue. How is it that this document got it right, but all the other ones didn't? Was this might have been Luke might have done this before they let him go. I'm not sure. Pow and Bistan. What about Pow? I'm sorry, I might be missing something. Pow and Bistan weren't on the Errata reference, but they have already been changed to have health of 2. Yeah, you're right. They're not. Or were they on here and I just went past them? Because they have 2 health. No. Or are you asking, did did they maybe retrograde Pow and Bistan stuff and take them back to 1 health each? Oh my gosh, if they did that, I'm gonna laugh. No, they didn't do that. No, there were no takeaways, is what I'm told with this Errata reference. So, yeah. All right, let's go back to this. Oh yeah, so like some of the interesting things is that like the red player picks the table edge, so that gives the red player a little bit more something to do. That's never going to happen at my house because whenever we sit down to play, I'm like, you just sit on that side, I'm sitting on this side, and we're going to play. And I specifically pick battle cards that make it to where I don't have to move as much. That's my primary purpose. Like, and seriously, it's not the most tactical thing to do. But how many of you guys, like, be honest with me in chat. Be honest. How many of you have just picked like something like battle lines because you just wanted to sit where you are because you were tired? How many times have you done that when you know that like something like disarray might have been more appropriate or whatever? Like, no freaking way. I'm like, no, I'm just doing battle lines, dude. Like I put battle lines in everything because I'm like, it's just the easiest one to run this way. I don't have to get up and walk around the table. I always do. Always do. I'm lazy like that. It's because I'm getting old, Hoth Commander, what's going on? All right, so we are, let's see, then the reveal battle cards. Yeah, and the other cool thing, and I love this change, is that you're using all 4 cards now of each deck instead of just 3. It means nothing's guaranteed. In my last, I think, 2 battle reports, we've done the 4-card method, and it's fabulous. It's a lot more tactical, and it's tougher. It's tougher. And Dh447 had 2 wounds in the previous RRG, Morton says. Oh, okay, I might have missed that. Yeah, Dh447 is mentioned here, but Pow and Bistan are not. I think that was just an error. One thing we have learned is that AMG, and I'm going to be nice here, is that they're still new at putting out these rules reference guides, and they have certainly made some mistakes. And I think as a matter of fact, speaking of mistakes, let's go down to the very bottom of this. Boom, boom, boom. If we go down to the last page, instead of just incorporating all of their new rules and everything, they just attached this page to the end. Oh, and here's another thing. Here's all this other stuff. Like, why isn't Ataru Mastery inserted into the RRG in the A's section, right? Why is it just stapled here at the end? Like, this is a very lazy way to do this. There may be reasons for it. Maybe this was the easiest way to get it through licensing approval or what have you. But this is lazy and sloppy, and the game, I think, deserves better. But I'll take it. It is what it is. I still love the game, but I'm like, this is just not what we're used to. Like, and the thing is, if every subsequent rules update, if every new expansion that comes out has this new, like, has a separate page at the end, that's really going to confuse people who are getting into the game and trying to search through the entire rules reference guide that is otherwise in alphabetical order. So now we're going to have to tell people that the rules is completely alphabetized up through 2020. All the 2021 expansions and beyond, you have to find their appropriate addendum at the end of the, that's really going to be cumbersome, and like, it's not going to be fun to bring new people into the game and have to explain to them the history and why these documents are all over the place. So I'm not really crazy about that. But let's see what else. I'm going to go back to the top here because there's not a whole lot. You missed the index page at the end, Morton. Absolutely. That's what I was looking for. That's how I first found that page. When I opened this up, I'm like, well, let me just go to the end, because what I used to do is say, okay, well, let's see, Clone Trooper, you know what? Let me just scroll down to the end, find the C's, click on Clone Trooper, and then boom, up to the top. The fact that they took out that index page is a sin against sins. That is just crazy to me. Why would you... it's one of the most valuable things in the entire rules reference guide, and it's shame. I don't know why they got rid of that. So AMG, if you're watching, please consider putting that index back in there. Like it was really good, and maybe like it required, like you don't have somebody on staff that has the Adobe skill set to do it. Like I'm not going to pretend like it's an easy thing. I know, like I can do that. I can do a table of contents in Microsoft Word, but I don't know exactly how to do that in Adobe, right? So maybe it's a staffing issue. They just didn't have the person that knew how to update it. If that's the case, fine. But consider, like when you're hiring somebody, like, you know, in the future, get somebody who's good with Adobe who can fix these up, because I would love to see that back. Again, trying to be nice, you know. Again, because I don't know how to do it, so I can't sit here and be like, oh, it's so easy, why did you take it out? Maybe it's hard. Maybe it's hard to do that. All right, Clone Troopers, we already know that Clone Troopers got changed. They can only share one token now. Low Profile got changed too. So let's go to page 24 and then 56. 24. Here it is. When attacking or defending a Clone Trooper unit, may spend one aim, dodge, or surge token belonging to a friendly Clone Trooper at range 1 and in line of sight as if it were its own token. Okay, yeah. All right, 56. That's what we knew already. So it does still stack with Padme and all that other stuff. You can still spend stuff from her. All right, Low Profile has been changed a little bit. While defending against an attack, if a unit with Low Profile keyword has cover, cancel, so that's a typo, 2 A's, K-A-A, or C-A-A-N-C-E-L, cancel one additional hit result. Wait, what? When defending against an attack, if a unit with Low Profile keyword has cover, cancel one additional hit result? When determining cover, if the attack pool has blast, you do not cancel one additional hit result. Okay. When determining cover, if the value of Sharpshooter X is equal to or greater than the level of cover, Low Profile has no effect. Okay, so Low Profile is totally changed. So Low Profile used to just be increase your cover. So Low Profile basically can give you cover 3. And that's what I'm reading right now. This is weird. I guess we have cover 3 now in game, which means, again, it still works out to you must have duck and cover on a unit with Low Profile. I guess. Oh, is this also a buff to Han Solo? Right? Doesn't Han Solo have Low Profile? Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it's like a cover 3-ish, a provisional. And I guess, so generally, if you have duck and cover and you're out in the open, somebody shoots you, you take a suppression, boom, now you've got cover, in Low Profile, you cancel. That ends up working the same. But, yeah. But if somebody has Sharpshooter 1, oh, somebody, yeah, all right, yeah, so Sharpshooter can still beat Low Profile. That's an interesting change to how Low Profile works. I think it makes Low Profile more interesting, but yeah, very interesting. Okay, and it's also a nerf. It's also a buff to Sharpshooter, right? It's a buff to Han Solo. It's a buff to Sharpshooter. Yeah. Rip Index. Yes, we got. I went on a big rant about the Index. I definitely did that. All right, so we're. I think that's it for the rules reference updates. So I want to go back to points because I want to show you guys a really cool document. And before I do that, I also want to one more time remind you guys and to thank our sponsor, Luxury Playstyle. They have amazing tokens for X-Wing, Arkham, Keyforge, a number of games. I use them a lot in my Legion battle reports. You have seen probably the damage tokens. These are actually Keyforge damage tokens. They're perfect. They're double-sided 1s and 3s. Awesome shield tokens too, work really, really great. They're all double-sided metal tokens. They come in a variety of finishes. You're going to save 15% if you use code Crabbok VIP. They make great stocking stuffers. They make great prize support. Let your local stores know. Head over to Luxury Playstyle. Use code Crabbok VIP. Save 15%. If you do act while supplies last, orders of $35 or more are going to get a free Crabbok Lightsaber Nunchuck token. These are actually really good for marking your commander. You know, if you got a field commander, or you know your commander dies, you have to nominate a new commander. That's why we put a C on the front. It's also blue. It's good for like light side versus dark side. You can use it in role-playing games if you need to make a light side or dark side decision. But also the back being a 5 in red works really well when you're stacking up massive amounts of damage on somebody like Darth Vader or an Atst or whatever. You got all those little, you got like a pile of tokens. You know what? Let's just put a 5 on there. He's got 5. So that's kind of one of the reasons we went with that particular combination. So, but check them out. We have Legion tokens coming soon. We've got some really awesome command tokens coming. That's all I'm going to show you for right now. Those are going to be out, available next month is what we're hoping for. Again, shipping crisis. There could be some delays on that, but stay tuned. Dude, you're going to love them. So if you play X-Wing, you play Arkham, you play Legion, you play any of these games, check out luxuryplaystyle.com. They make great gifts for your loved ones, too, as we're entering holiday time. And use code Crabbok VIP, save 15%. Okay, so let's talk about points. So I want to talk, let me pull this up and let me turn this off. So what do I have here? You're probably curious. This is a really nice spreadsheet. Now this is pinned. If you're not already in our Discord, there's a links down or in the description below. There's also links to Luxury Playstyle and all that other stuff. We have links down in the video description below to the Discord. If you're not already a member, come on down, join. I'd love to have you guys out there. It's pinned in the Legion main channel, and this is just a really nice thing. User Rastlin150 posted this earlier today, and big thanks to you, Rastlin. But it's pinned, and it's a really groovy Legion points update, and this is going to kind of show us like the old points and the new points. And it's it's kind of hard. I can't really blow it up any bigger because then I'm going to be in front of it and I'll be blurting stuff out. So if you guys want to go download that too, you can follow along with me, or I'll just talk about it here. I can do that too. So let me do that, and let's see. I'm pulling it up in a larger thing. Is it missing? Is it missing the bark point reduction? I might be. I don't know. I'm kind of looking through it with you guys. This is why we're doing this live. You know, I don't have all the answers, folks. I've only got some of the answers. The rest of the answers lie within the question of where are the answers? Do you have the answers? What is an answer? Do we have only questions? Sometimes I answer questions with other questions. Do you need to see the bark point reduction? The bark is 55 now. So the bark got a little reduction, which is kind of cool. I like barks. You know, it's one of the reasons I didn't buy that many ATSTs for the Republic, because I'm like, I think the barks are still groovy, and I love compulsory moves. It's a free action, right? Like, I love to move around. And we have new vehicle-specific objectives now, you know, bombing runs and stuff. Like, barks can be a lot of fun. All right, so so Republic got, you know, probably hit some of the hardest out of all of this, and it's a bummer. But Anakin went down. The ATRT went down 5 points. It's not bad. The generic commander went up. Rex went up by 10 points. Generic commander went up by 5 points. It's like they want you to use Jedis. The LAT is 15. The LAT went down by 15 points. So Jedis and big vehicles went down in point costs, kind of across the board, right? R2-D2 went up by 10 points. He's now 55 points. That hurts the Republic and the Rebels. It hurts the Republic probably most of all because they have the most expensive core, and just to fill a legal army with them is more expensive than anybody else. So they already have the least amount of points for putting together, you know, the rest of their build. And so R2 was always one of those ways to get yourself an extra activation that wasn't going to break the bank and kind of leave more room for heavy weapons and for special forces and stuff like that. I don't know if the tanks were changed. Let's see. Well, that's all we have in there under Republic. Let me see points adjustment. I'm checking because there's, you know, if you go to AMG, they do have a link a page that links over to Fantasy Flight. Galactic Republic. It doesn't look like the tank. Let's see. ARC Troopers, Spark Speeders, 55 now. No, the tank wasn't changed. And the AAT is now 175. Let's see. The AAT, is that referenced on here? Yeah, that's a 5-point increase. So I guess the Rebel tank, or the Republic tank, went down by proxy because the AAT went up. But the heavy weapons for the Bark Speeder went up. The Bark Ion was up only 2 points. The Twin Laser went up by 1 point. That's strange, but okay, it is what it is. The ATRT Flamethrower went down. The DC-15 Phase 1 went down. Oh, that's interesting. So I don't ever run him anyway. The DP-23, that's the piercing shotgun guy for Phase 1s. That went down 1. Echo went up 2 points. Fives went up 4 points. The Phase 1 Captain went down 2 points. And the Phase 1 Specialist went down 3 points. Although the Phase 1 Specialist is almost useless now with Take That Clankers not being able to take advantage of his unique talents. So that's annoying. But it is what it is. Okay. And then, of course, you know, you couple the increase in costs for that the Republic got hit here with the fact that they're, you know, all of the ARC Troopers now have an increased cost because all of their heavies went up, and then R2D2 went up, and then Take That Clankers got nerfed, and then Rex went up in points, you know, and then clones also can't share. They already couldn't share standbys, but now they can only share 1 token. I don't know if this is completely debilitating towards clone armies or not, but it does feel like a lot, and it happens all at once, and that is rough. That's rough. I'm still going to run Republic. They're still one of my favorite armies to run, because they have the most Jedi. Unless, of course, you're here in the United States, in which case you will never get Yoda. So, you know, so they have the most lightsaber users, like, some places in the world. Actually, no, technically, I guess Separatists do, because you have the most lightsabers. You have a 7-saber list for the Separatists. But, oh, if you guys wanted the link to Discord, you know what? I mean, it's in the video description, but I mean, I can probably share it here in the chat. Let's see. Let me pull up a link. I'll pull up a link and do this. Also, I'll take this time while I'm looking for a link for this. I want to remind you guys, if you haven't already, if you're new here, if you don't hang out that often, we're doing a lightsaber giveaway for 50,000 subscribers. We did just cross over into 50,000 subscribers, and you just have to be a subscriber and leave a comment on this or one of my videos. It's as simple as that. There is a link, and that should get you into the Discord. So, yeah. Okay, so Rebels. The laser cannon went down. Jin went down 10 points. 10 points cheaper for Jin. Incredible. Leia went down. So Leia got a nice little change. She's down 10 points. Also, Pathfinders went down 2 more points. At least it's not that much, but R2 went up. The Rebel Commandos went down. That's kind of cool. Gonk Droid went up. Unorthodox Tactician went up 6 points. Wow. So not only did he get nerfed, but he also went up 6 points. Now you got to think about taking him. That's for sure. Okay. All right. Landspeeder Gunner went down. AA5 Quad Laser went down. Nice. ATRT stuff went down. Fleet Trooper Barrage Trooper went down. POW went down 2 points. Oh my gosh. Pathfinders and their heavies also went down. The Commando Saboteur went down 3 points. I like that. Rebel Trooper Ion went down a point. Doesn't matter. Nobody's going to take him. Rebel Trooper Shotgun went down 2 points. Let's see. The Rebel Trooper Captain went down 2. The Rebel Trooper Specialist went down 4 points. And the Reckless Driver, or the Inconsiderate Driver, went up 6 points. Now, Wedge Antilles got a cost increase of up to 5 points now, so he is now 5 points for gaining Field Commander. That seems reasonable. Snowspeeders are already cheap enough, right? They didn't go up, and they're great. So yeah, pretty easy Field Commander for the Rebels here. Kind of like that. I can dig it. Yeah, if you want to follow along with this, if you join that Discord, I have different sections. Because we talk about a lot of games in our Discord, but I have them broken and separated apart. But also check out the giveaways channel in there too. We do giveaways from time to time. But there's an Armada, X-Wing, and a Legion section. So go to Legion, and it's in Legion main. And then once you're in Discord, if you want to click on the pinned posts on the top right corner, it'll direct you to the link, and it's the most recent pinned post. Separatists, the tank, the AAT went up. The B1s went up 2 points. Oh, look at that. Cad Bane went down 5 points. Still never going to run Cad Bane. Don't like him. Dooku went down 5 points. Droidekas went down 5 points. And my man, Count Dooku, I'm sorry, General Grievous, I'm a little bit scatterbrained right now because this is a lot. Grievous goes down 15 points. This is the biggest, it's the tied for the biggest reduction, which I love. Love it, love it, love it. It's great. Staps went up 2 points. Grievous's Annihilator pistol also went down 4 points, which is actually it makes him effectively a 19-point reduction, which would kind of be the biggest. I love this. I love this about Grievous. Grievous, because I actually ran Grievous last time. He's good. He's surprisingly good. So that's good. And some of the other weapons, 2 points for the E5C B1. The B1 Sniper's down 2. The B1 Rocket is down 2. So even though the B1 unit as a whole went up, the heavies for the B1s went down. So I guess they're trying to encourage you to load up those B1 units as opposed to just running them as cheap filler. Oh, thanks, Scott. Appreciate it, buddy. The Rad Cannon for the B1 went down 6 points. That's strange that one went down so much more. It's a good one, but it's only available in the Specialist pack. I wonder if they're just trying to sell more expansions. The personnel for the B1 went down. The Security Droid went down. The OOM went down. And the Viper Droid went down. So Separatists got cheaper droids. Separatists just got a whole bunch of buffs here. Like, really. Separatists kind of made out. They might be some of the big winners. I think Empire is still... Well, no, Rebels are still maybe the biggest winner. If you run Jyn Pathfinders. Then, like, Sean is the biggest winner. Sean, if you're watching, you're the big winner here, buddy. Okay, so neutral upgrades, anger down 2. Emergency stims is down 2. Okay, it's still an expensive upgrade, but it's all right. That's cool that it's down 2. It's one I used to love taking it, but it's so hard to take it at 10 points, so now it's down to 8. Smoke grenades are up 1 point. That's not too bad. Duck and cover went down 2 points. And that's something that often goes on Jyn and Pathfinders. So it's another buff to Rebels there. Oh, that's really good. Speeder bikes, amazing unit, by the way. Super fun, beautiful unit. Great miniatures. Love the speeder bikes. They're down 5 points. The ATSTs got another reduction at another 5-point reduction. I love that. Boba Fett goes down 5 points. Why are they even adjusting Boba Fett? Aren't they getting ready to purge him from the Empire and bring him over to the scum and villainy of Star Wars Legion? But okay, Boba Fett goes down 5 points. Now, Commander Darth Vader goes up from 175 to 190, a 15-point increase. Operative Vader goes from 155 to 175, a 20-point increase. Reasonably so. This is the biggest single point change, and definitely the largest increase. Operative Vader goes up a lot. Commander Vader goes up a lot. No problem. Still never going to take Operative Vader. Probably only going to take Commander Vader. Probably. That's where my mind is at right now. I love Darth Vader, and I like what Commander Vader brings to the table. I really do. But Operative Vader, 175 now, speed 2 permanently, more health. I mean, he got good buffs. He did get good buffs. All right. Krennic, really good commander. Really good commander overall. Especially when he first came out. He hasn't kind of scaled as well as certain other commanders and stuff have, but he's still very good. 15-point reduction for him. He's down to 75. I think this makes Krennic a great cheap commander. I think this makes Krennic an all-star right now. 5-point reduction for dewbacks. Palpatine actually gets his first reduction. He managed to stay at his printed point cost for a long time. Palpatine goes down 10 points. And this is mind-boggling to me when we get force speed. Well, again, we don't have force speed here in the United States because we don't have Yoda. I mean, some people do. You can always just print it and proxy it. I'm just being I'm just being silly. But, I mean, Palpatine with Force Speed is just so much fun. I did it only one time. It's just amazing. So, yeah, and he goes down to 190. So 10-point reduction for Palpatine. Veers gets a 5-point reduction. Death Troopers get a 4-point reduction. The Emperor's Royal Guard get a 6-point reduction, which is kind of cool. The LAT, also 15-point reduction. Same reduction that it got for the Republic. And the Gav tank goes down 5 points, from 145 to 140. Agent Callus, his staff goes from 25 to 15, so that's a 10-point reduction. Death Troopers config is now free. This was 8 points, so this is a really good thing for the Death Troopers. It's a very, very, very good thing for Death Troopers. And it makes them a little... I mean, they came out, I think, the same time as Pathfinders did, and Pathfinder's config has been free for a while now, so it's nice to see that. Dh447 goes down from 22 to 15. So she's already 2 health, and now she's 7 points cheaper. So I like that. The Electro Staff Royal Guard is 4 points down. The Imperial Special Forces Generic Heavy is 2 points reduction. The Shore Troopers Heavy is 3 points reducted. The Snow Trooper Ions down 2 points. All the Stormtrooper Heavies are either 2 or 4 points cheaper. The only one that's 4 points cheaper is the Rocket. Everybody else is 2 points cheaper for the Stormtrooper Heavies, which is really nice. Morton says the DTs should have had free gun configs at the same time as the Pathfinders. Maybe. Maybe. I need to just go straight up from Minnesota here. What? Oh, road trip to Canada? Yeah, right? Well, I mean, you can just order the stuff online. I know a lot of people have been talking about just buying their stuff overseas and paying the premium. No, Yoda isn't going to be available in the U.S., I don't think, this year. They have like December 31st or something like that listed on Asmodee as its release date. But then like AMG just posted today, like, we have no idea when things are going to come out. Like, it was basically it's like, you want to send me a Yoda from Canada, dude? I'd love it. My PO box is posted on the thing. I'll give you a shout out, man. That'd be awesome. But I have it pre-ordered, so I mean, I can be patient. I'll wait until it comes. I have I'm kind of slowing down, and I've got enough other games to keep me busy right now too. I've got so much, guys. I have some cool terrain to review. I got some new stuff showing up recently, so stay tuned for that too. I've got some pretty cool terrain review sets and things like that to show you. All right, let's see here. So Stormtrooper's Del Miko goes down significantly from 38 to 25 points. He's down 13 points. And Gideon Haas goes down 9 points from 38 to 29. I like that because that's going to mean Inferno Squad is 22 points cheaper to run because you have to take both of those heavies. I like that because I love Inferno Squad. I love Inferno Squad and I love Iden Versio. And when I'm not running Darth Vader, I love to run Iden Versio. Hell, I ran them both in a recent list. Yeah. But it's crazy. All right, let's see here. 401 games? Is that the store that you shop at? I'm not sure. I'm missing parts of that. I need to stop looking over at chat and just reading things that I see, because some people will say silly things like blah, 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 and I'll read what's blah, 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 you know. All right. All right, let me finish getting through this, and then we'll do some Q&A and we'll kind of chat casually about it a little bit, because there's a lot here. So thank you guys for hanging out too. This was an unexpected stream, but we have 127 viewer. Very cool. Asmodee does. Yeah, the Asmodee can be a pain in the butt sometimes. But some of these things aren't exclusively Asmodee problems. The shipping crisis is a global thing. It affects all industries. Everybody's seeing stuff like this. So it's a bummer. And the best we can do is be patient. And, the cool thing right here is that we have a lot of new ways to play with our existing stuff. So this is a good thing. This is a very good thing. Scott Wookie yells. What? Oh, see, I'm just looking over reading chat again. That was not the best Wookie yell. I'm a little embarrassed of that one. All right, so I talked about ATSTs, and we're going to run Vice. Vice went up 4 points. He went from 1 to 5, but that's okay because he's a field commander now, and they took away his exhaust. which is good because he's now usable. And not only is he a little more expensive, but really usable, now to run all those weapons is going to be a lot cheaper. The Atst went down 5 points. Its weapons went down 10 points for the Twin Blaster, 5 for the Mortar. Mortar's great. And the Grenade Launcher, 7 points. So to run a Vice Atst, it's now like 22, 25, 27 minus the 4. So 23 points cheaper in total. That's awesome. It's very, very awesome. You have 13 JRR token has 13 expansions coming tomorrow. Dude, you dove in head first. Take your time. Take your time. It's a lot. That's a lot of assembly. Your finger, a lot of clipping. Governor Price went down, and she was overcosted, I think, so that's good. She's down 5 points from 10 to 5. Stormtrooper Captain is down from 12 to 10. That's a 2-point drop. And then the Stormtrooper Specialist is down from 12 to 9, and a 3-point reduction. That's everything. This is going to stay pinned in the Discord for until such time that I think a new points or a better document becomes available. This is a great resource. So again, this is huge. Well, we got a lot of folks joining Discord tonight. Thank you guys. That's cool, man. I'm glad to have you guys. I was just tabbing back over to Discord real quick, yeah, very, very cool stuff. And so but that's all right. Let me close down and close down this well, I'll leave the image open. So what do you guys think? What are the big takeaways? I'll tell you, clones got hit in a lot of different ways. I don't think this breaks them. Unfortunately, I think this means that to play clone-centric armies, you're going to have to play them more like stormtroopers. And a lot of people don't want to play them like stormtroopers because they would just, they lost a lot of what made them unique. But at the same time, clones were very, very powerful. ARC troopers are a very good unit, and being able to just pull all the tokens they want from everybody else, kind of without mitigation, that was, a reasonable change, even though it hurt. Like, the clones have seen so many nerfs, and I remember playtesting clones thinking, like, when they very first told us that, they're going to be able to share green tokens, I was like, wait, does that mean standbys also? And I was like, that just sounds really, really strong. And at the time, it wasn't as bad because we didn't have phase 2s, not at, during the first wave of clone testing, and we didn't have any way to have, an increasing standby range on phase 1 clones and stuff like that. So but still, it was a strong thing. I never really played it in that whole like turtle defense ball. I never really did that. I've done a few clone standbys, but I never made that my strategy. It's always just been an option. And you can still, take a standby with clones and then spend the aim from a buddy or something like that. And you can still do clone standbys with Exemplar. And so I don't feel like clones are broken. I think they're just wounded. Like, they're not crippled, they're just wounded. They're hurt. They're not as good as they once were. I think they're still going to be good. And I think one thing that a lot of people who are very upset right now maybe overlooking is that we're going to be getting new things. There's more things coming. I'm sure the Shadow Collective isn't the last thing coming for Legion, right? There's going to be more Jedi that come out. There's going to be more clone heroes. I'm sure we'll get Cody, and I'm sure we'll get other buffs to clones. And so maybe they had to make room for new buffs and new things to help. Like I already talked about, hey, you know what? This would be, the Take That Clankers card would still be really good with a clone unit if they were to somehow get steady. And maybe that's something that will come. Maybe Commander Cody will bring steady, or something like that. Or maybe he'll have steady, or maybe he'll come with a card. Like, I would love to see more units come out for this game that also have their own heavy weapon card. Like, he's his own guy, he's an operative or a commander, but he can also go into a clone unit. That would work really well for, like, just the same way Fives and Echo have theirs. I think all future clone like specialty, dudes that come out, anybody who's a clone should be able to go into the clone units, right? Like, with very few exceptions. Like, I would say like 99 shouldn't be able to go in there. Probably the folks from the Bad Batch probably shouldn't go in like phase 1 clones. Like Omega shouldn't go into like a clone unit and stuff like that, But most of your other ones, like if they do Wolf, you know, if they do Fox as a ground unit, you know, they do all these other ones, you know, it'd be amazing. So yeah, that's all right. So we're close to wrapping up. I do want to do a couple of things. There was also an X-Wing rules reference update. I'll be covering that soon. I haven't, you know, I had to, they dropped them both in the same day, and this was the much bigger news, so I had to talk about this one first. But there is also, and I think Gold Squadron already kind of talked about the X-Wing rules reference. I think it kind of referenced just a handful of things. It wasn't as wide and sweeping as this. But to you guys in chat talking about Armada, yes. Armada's amazing. Great game. Will Krennic Iden be the go-to Empire picks? Does Commander Vader get a look in? I think for different types of units. I mean, I think Commander Vader is amazing. I think Commander Vader is going to work really well with core heavy lists and or vehicle lists. I think the idea of being able to go we're going to completely ignore suppression with Commander Vader is a very, very tempting offer. I think you could even go Vader and a LAT and 6 Stormtroopers and stuff like that and make it work. Or Vader and some speeder bikes and Stormtroopers, kind of go old school. I think it's going to be great builds. But if you want to mix in wider varieties of units and you want to start doing special forces and stuff like that, Iden Versio is going to be the way to go. If you're doing Death Troopers, Krennic is going to be a great option. Again, but Iden Versio also works with Death Troopers. You know, you could run Iden and Krennic also. It'd be a kind of a fun way to run Iden and Imperial and Iden Versio, Inferno Squad, Krennic, and 3 Death Troopers. You'd have 4 special forces. You are able to make that happen with Krennic. It's already expensive to try to, like, Entourage is already kind of making your special forces budget way overblown, so you're already hurting. But with all these reductions in point costs for special forces, for, you know, Inferno Squad, for Death Troopers, for Krennic, I think an Iden Krennic build is worth looking at. I don't know if I'd want to take both Iden and Krennic in the same build though, but it is possible. It is possible. Be interesting. And I haven't run Krennic in a long time. I think he's worth looking back to. But Commander Vader's one of my favorite units in the whole game. I'm glad to see Jedi Luke didn't get any point reductions. He's already crazy good. But yeah, like as much as the clones got hurt, I'm surprised Jedi Luke didn't go up in points a little bit, you know. But then again, you know, I'm not trying to advocate for nerfs for anybody's favorite unit. Jedi Luke is an amazing unit also. But yeah, all right, guys, that's so I think that's going to wrap up today's video. There's been a lot, and we'll probably do some builds in the future, trying to look at once all of the builders are updated to reflect, you know, the new points and stuff. We'll see what we can put together and what new fun things, and maybe we'll look at trying to do a Krennic and Iden build and see how much fun that would be. You thought Commander Luke might have gotten a buff? Oh, Commander Luke? Yeah, maybe. He is good, and he has access to all of the Luke cards too. You know, I think one of the reasons that Vader and Operative Vader both got changed as much because they had already been like reduced. Like, again, it's the meta thing. A lot of people said, "Oh, these guys are too bad," so they got like nerfed and points reduced, and all of a sudden now the points have to come back up because they're really good. You know, did they mention any new card packs? No, they didn't. They didn't say anything. This was just posted today. It's still on the Fantasy Flight Games store. So usually when they announce card packs, a lot of times you only have to grab one. For most, you know, and for any kind of casual games, you know, having just one copy of the card is a lot of times all you need. Like if you're running like 2 of the like special SF units and they're running a special upgrade and you only have one, like put it in between them, you know. It only becomes really a problem if it's inexhaustible, because then you need to like, all right, wait, which one has used HQ uplink and which one hasn't, you know. And for a tournament, you do have to have all the stuff, but Legion HQ is updated. That's good information. Yeah, I know Tabletop Admiral had done partial updates, and then they were going to get back to it later this evening. I know they had some stuff going on. They were very hush-hush on the AMG stream about new releases. Well, a big part of that is there's loads of things that they could talk about and be like, hey, we're working on this Boba Fett. Oh, we're working on Ewoks or whatever. But if it's not going to be out for 3 years, why get people hyped on it now? It's better to save that hype when you're closer to time to pre-order. It's better to save that time when you have like 3 months until people are going to be able to buy it. That's when you have enough time to be like, this is coming. And then we wait till next month and we're like, here's a look at the unit card. And then you wait till like the month of release and like, here's some of the other things that are coming with it. And here's some cool ways that you can build this new unit. Like that's kind of the formula for how to generate hype. And it doesn't work that way if you drop stuff 3 years in advance. People are going to burn out on it because people will proxy it. People will put it in Tabletop Simulator. And, if it's... Look what's happening with Armada right now and all the homebrew stuff that's springing up all over the place, And even in Legion, the stuff, they as soon as they tease like a unit card, it's in Tabletop Simulator. Somebody's already done a 3D model of it. People are using it, So... if you don't want people to completely burn out on stuff, you kind of have to wait until it's closer to come out. All right, guys. Do you think Empire will make good come back? I think the Empire is going to be amazing. I can't wait to run double ATST. Field Commander Vice. I need a new Veers, though. I need Veers and an AT-AT. All right, guys. I'm going to go ahead and wrap things up. I'm getting yawning. My body's telling me, stop. Let it go. Play some video games. Relax a little bit. I think that's what I'm going to do. All right, guys, I'm going to thank you for hanging out. Thank you guys for sharing this video with your friends. Thank you for watching all the way through. One more thanks to Luxury Playstyle for supporting the channel and for sponsoring this video. Be sure to check out Luxury Playstyle. Don't forget to head over to luxuryplaystyle.com. Check out some of those amazing tokens they have if you guys play X-Wing or Keyforge or any of the Arkham games or L5R. Check those out. Orders of $35 or more are going to save 15% with code Crabbok VIP, but also if it's $35 or more, you're going to... Well, you'll save 15% no matter what you order. But if it's $35 or more, you're going to get a Crabbok token thrown in for free. These are limited edition, and they're the best tokens in all the galaxy. All right, guys, I want to thank you all so much for watching. Big thanks to my patrons. You guys are absolutely amazing and help make this channel possible. So thank you for your continued support. I will talk to you guys soon. And always remember, if you're running a 5K, make sure not to bring the rest of the alphabet with you, because that could slow you down. Because it's a 5K. It's a K, and all right, that was bad.